Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folani. Well, my guest this morning is Chukwuemeka Eze. He's a legal practitioner, he's a taxation expert, and he's also a commentator on public affairs. Chukwuemeka, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you. Good morning.
Indeed. Well, I suppose the ongoing war on corruption, maybe we could go there. The big news that's coming out is some sort of a movement, if that is what we want to consider it as. It's all about, former petroleum minister Diezani. As one newspaper put it, they have various headlines. One paper puts it as "Court daisies Diezani to forfeit." Seems it seems an improbable picture. 7.6 billion linked to her. This reportedly has been forfeited. Even in the UK, we read that 10 million pounds sterling worth of UKT property frozen. Well, somebody called in yesterday on our program and had observed that we hear of all these sums, but we don't see names attached. Could it be that it's some sort of a style by which people are sort of returning, looted funds and thereby settling the matter, as it were, under the radar, that kind of a thing. Now, when you hear these kind of big figures, 7.6 billion, no less, yeah, it's an advance. We're getting our money back, but what does that, give me your impressions. What does anybody need 7.6 billion allegedly? But now that you were saying allegedly, but now that it has been forfeited, it means it was there.
Certainly nobody has said it is fiction, so it is real. And until facts, contrary facts, overtake the ones we are reading in the newspapers, we have to believe the ones we are reading in the newspapers. But it seems Diezani has come to symbolize everything that happened in the petroleum sector during the Jonathan administration. So some of the amounts being traced are being traced indirectly to her. So Diezani, unfortunately, if I were her, I would have come to defend myself. I'll not allow my name to be rubbished. If it rubbished in quote, it is unfortunate that she has replaced Dasuki. It used to be Dasuki. Now it is Diezani. So these names have symbolized corruption.
But as you say, she could. In fact, there were reportedly there are protesters who are saying that no, she should be repatriated if she won't come willingly. Why she won't come willingly is up there, is conjecture. But as you've just said, just in case it is felt that, whereas there might be some aspects of the story that cannot be contradicted, I need to come and explain that, it's not all as it seems. But if that hasn't happened, then you can imagine that by default, people will say that it's just the way it is.
If the Western world, if Western countries take the fight against corruption very serious, especially in the light of United Nations Convention Against Corruption, of which many of them are parties to, by the time they take it serious, you will discover that the news will tighten on Diezani. As you are aware, a district court in the United States of America is already considering a case involving her. So by the time the British authorities will take a step further,
beyond what they've already done,
beyond what
10 million sterling.
Beyond what they have already done, then she will discover that there is no place to hide. There is no place to hide in the modern world if your level of corruption gets to stinking stage. So I sincerely believe that she will hide only for a moment. She has a duty, especially in our accusatorial system, where she has only been accused and the Constitution says she's innocent until the contrary is proved. So
and she has to come.
She has the opportunity.
Make that exactly.
Yes, and that was why the court granted the forfeiture interim ab initio. So having now made it final, after the advertisement in the newspaper, nobody said it is mine. So the court has made it final. The system is running the way it should run. And I expect her, for her family name, for the name of her husband, the former governor of, military governor of, I think, was it Enugu State, Anambra State. So if I were her, I would come to do something concerning my name and my family name. This is a woman that worked in the Shell for many years and was seen as one of the Nigerian stars that worked in that international company. So having been chosen to work in the petroleum industry, and she's trying to prove that what men can do, women can do better. Because
yeah, but not in this particular way.
No, even negatively.
Yes,
that's
yes,
what
yes.
she's trying to prove. So that argument that, oh, men are more corrupt than women, she's trying to make a mess of it now by the way she's going. Because how many houses have been forfeited in her name? What amount has been? So it shows that now the point to get now is that it is difficult to get a saint in the petroleum sector. And that is why the Petroleum Industries Governance Bill should be made an act. They should quickly get done with it and make it a business entity.
Indeed.
It is a potpourri of corruption in this country. It is, we are shouting Diezani because she doesn't gel with the government in power. What happened when a former president was Minister of Petroleum for 8 years or about that? What happened? If you look into that time.
And then when you go back to even real one, look one as well.
Yes.
So what we're talking about is
were
that
not saying,
you're saying that, well, we don't know that they were not saying, nobody accused them of anything.
Yes,
but as you said, in the light of what we have now, she is carrying the can.
Yeah, because somebody has decided to look into her own situation.
And
this is a signpost to what had always been the case.
See, the murky waters of petroleum sector finances.
Yakubu, Mr. Yakubu, former group managing director, had to hide billions of naira in a house in a village. And it has gone as bad as that.
But the boldness that people saw after that was where lawyers, your learned brothers must have advised him that. And so we hear that he was suing at the end of the day.
Issue of advice. A man who is...
He was suing at the end of the day.
Say, by the way, being haunted should have a defense. I mean, if you are getting drowned,
you clutch at any straw.
Any straw.
Any straw.
So please don't bother that people are trying to catch at straws. I mean, if you are drowning, even if it is me, I look for a way to survive. The survival instinct is the thing that you can never take away from a man.
From a human being.
So it is natural.
Okay.
So that's not the issue.
It isn't. Let's take a quick break to bring on your colleague, our other commentator, and maybe address the point also that the idea that somebody, as I said, phoned in yesterday about that. Can it be that some people are returning things under the radar, and because government's key objective is to get as much of our Commonwealth back. With that. There's nothing wrong with that, but then again, this whole principle of fairness. If some people's names are out there, and some people are saying, yeah, I didn't know, let's look at that.
Get to that.
Yes, let's look at that. We'll be right back. Stay with us, please. Welcome back, and we've since been joined by Milan Moors or Jaji. Thanks for coming on, Moyo.
Good morning. Sorry
appreciate
to be late.
Yeah, thank you.
The traffic.
As you know, the proverbial CMD road. Anyway, glad that you're here. Well, you were in the studio when we started, actually. It's just that, wasn't convenient for you to come on. So you hear where we've taken it up to. Yesterday, out there, one of our viewers out there, had said that he was wondering if there was any truth to the speculation that in this whole, stupendous corruption, stories and allegations that we're hearing, e.g., for instance, 7.6 billion naira, forfeited, 10 billion worth. Yeah, all of that, it's a real booty. But there are others. There are others, and the suggestion was made that can it be true that some people are sort of quickly complying under the radar with the idea of maybe escaping public opprobrium? And the minister, who was our guest yesterday, had, not contradicted the idea. You have issues with that? Because we were talking before coming on here.
With a lot of respect to my brother, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, the Minister for Information. I'm talking now as a political activist. I'm talking now as somebody who was part of the APC information machinery, or let's go to the basic tax, APC propaganda machinery. And one of the promises we made as at that time was that give President Muhammad, give GMD, General Muhammadu Buhari, the chance to rule this country. He will fight corruption. And when he now gets there, he's been doing it, but unfortunately, in the courts, one way or the other, most of these things EFCC took to the court, they were thrown out of the court based on technicalities, not on the substance of the matter. And we are now getting worried. This is the second year running of the administration.
Forgive me for interrupting you, because I just wanted to clear that. Because when you said cases were thrown out based on technicalities,
yes,
I mean, you don't want to give the impression that that was the intention of the prosecution authority, because people have criticized the lack of thoroughness in the prosecution ability of the whole thing. There's a procedure. It's not a dictatorship.
We are still saying the same thing.
So if people get things wrong...
See, as the president is over there, he cannot be all over Nigeria. He will be briefed by those people he has assigned specific functions to. Mr. President, in this sector, this is what we are doing, this is what we've done. In the process, he can get misadvised. He can get deceived. And if he had to base his action on what the briefing he had been given, and it comes to the Nigerian public, he will be taken to the cleaners. So what we are now saying is that, see, I'm very glad my brother here is a lawyer. In law, ignorance is not a tenable excuse. You are now telling me that somebody didn't know that the money was being given.
Claimed. He didn't say they didn't know. They claimed not to know.
Claimed.
He wasn't speaking on behalf of those people.
You see, we are now looking out for, we have only 2 years left. And Nigerians, we are like Roma, the ancient Roman mob. They are baying for blood. Nigerians want examples that, yes, you people, you are fighting your corruption. Even yesterday, I have a friend in London. I don't want to mention his name here. He told me specifically that the Nigerian government has not recovered anything. If you like, if you are watching now, go to my Facebook page. I've written something about it, that these recoveries are in escrow. They cannot be touched until the National Assembly makes the necessary enabling, acts.
But that's not the same as to say Nigeria hasn't recovered anything.
But how do you convince people that you are making recoveries if you don't tell us the names of those who were involved, when they did it, how much was involved? That is when Nigerians will now be convinced that, yes, this government is really doing what they promised us.
Okay, I hear you.
They should not be giving us this paddy.
I think my brother is bothered about information management. Basically, what happens outside the government is different from
First of all, that whole notion about Nigeria has not recovered anything.
No, I don't agree with that.
That's a faulty premise.
Then how do you get to know?
See, it's a faulty premise. The government has not lied that it recovered sums. It has recovered sums. The fact that it is in a particular account called escrow or non-escrow, it's a matter of process.
And that government strategy is maybe, as it were,
it is even a matter of process.
They're not telling us all, for instance, the case of Diezani. That's what is angering Malam Jaji.
I understand him perfectly. But let me tell you, he said he was part of the propaganda machine.
Information machinery.
You then yourself went into propaganda, which has a negative or connotation.
Derisively. That's how.
Malan, you added propaganda.
Yes,
if
it's
you
all right.
look at it, propaganda in any setup is amplification. No, I don't want to go for that, but it means that the reality has been amplified or semi-reality. So you don't expect things to work exactly as propagated. So basically, being outside government is different. The Minister of Information is now in government. Recall the other day that Trump said by his own instinct he would have wanted troops pulled out of Afghanistan. While he was outside the government, he was tweeting, say, withdraw. But now he's in government.
Yes.
So if Malam enters government now, he will discover the difference.
The realities will be different.
Cold water and hot water.
Warm
water. He will discover the difference. So
and in any case, they're trying to keep their eye on the sparrow. The main objective is to retrieve stolen funds.
That's why you ask of purpose. By the time a government begins to act, you ask yourself, what's the purpose? The purpose is to get as much money as possible. If it is to temporarily hide some names and they will get the money, they will temporarily hide those names. Remember, they have a way of... Let me tell you.
Because, I beg your pardon, please you continue. Because the point that Malam Jaji was making, I think the minister here, he must have heard it too. He said that, however, this whole policy does not mean that people will not be prosecuted. He didn't absolve anybody.
Let me tell you, there is no system that prosecutes everybody. Aristotle described justice as treating equals equally and unequals unequally. We don't have a system that can treat every person the same way, except you want to engage in propaganda. I was taught by my Professor Kioyebode that there is no way the justice system can treat Dangote like his driver. No amount of summons we make.
Even though the symbol of the blindfolded lady is there with a scale in her hands, we are saying that reality is different. Is that what you guys are saying?
Even the blindfolded lady is a metaphor.
Yes.
That blindfolded lady sometimes opens one of the eyes.
You see, about 3 weeks ago on my Facebook wall, I showed a picture where the lady holding the scale of justice, the statute was like this, and they had to use stick
to prop it up.
That is exactly what is happening now. What we are saying now is, I'm worried. I say I'm a political activist. 2019 is around the corner. And people are, throwing these questions that you will find very, very hard to rationalize. How much have you recovered? Let us know. What is this? What is that? No, I mean, there's no big deal about it. It engenders confidence in the, in the populace. Now, nobody is saying they should not.
But I don't know. What you're saying is probably without prejudice to the point that Chukwemeka also made, that, look, realities are often different from when you're on the campaign trail. As you put it, you might be a propagandist, but things probably have to be handled, with a bit more delicately once you arrive.
Fortunately, Yori, I've been in government too at the lowest rung of the ladder.
Yes.
Local government system. And I know that allocation of scarce resources among competing values is very, very difficult.
But when you are outside, you can probably say that, no, what is not, you're not being fair to us.
But what we are now saying is that the educational attainment, the educational and the political sophistication of an average Nigerian voter, you can't compare it to that of an American. These people are thieves, so they've stolen your money to... I mean, nobody can convince anybody about Diezani now. Somebody yesterday, my friend from the US, he said, Moyo, all these 90 billion, how much is the Nigerian budget? That a single individual will take 90 billion out of the system. And I had to explain to him that it could be cumulative.
Okay.
The woman was in office for several years. It's not for a single So what are we talking about?
Mr. Ola in Abuja, good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Yari.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much. And by regard to your guest in the studio.
Good morning,
Thank you. Good morning.
Sir, I'm happy that one of your opened up, and hold on to the fact that it was one of the propaganda Buhari to government.
Oh dear.
Whether or not, what is a bad market is a different thing entirely. But if you ask me, I'm sorry, I will tell you that the president is not a very good market as far as what APC did in bringing to all this concern. But I would say that let me just leave that out. Now, talking about this corruption allegation against Diezani, I think. In fact, let's go to the point of one of the discussants who said who was trying to put Aristotle that justice is treating unequally in a way and treating people who are equal in a particular way. I don't think we should bring that into Nigeria context. If you can't look for justice, then forget about it. We're talking about moving this nation from the position it is now to the next level. If you can't do that, we should forget it.
Okay.
And I will say that we want to know the names of the people who this morning the federal government is talking about.
Ola, thank you very much for calling in. The line was not the best of lines, but you had said that you are happy that Malam Jaji himself admitted to being a propagandist, and you were going to take it. But, well, he's put it in the context of the APC, but I don't know. You're here.
No,
you're right here.
When you say you are a propagandist, it depends on the interpretation you give it.
Well,
in Nigeria,
it doesn't.
In Nigeria,
the word propaganda doesn't have any real positive connotation.
It does.
It does. Okay.
It does.
Okay. You know, because
you are
propagating. Explained it.
You are propagating an idea.
Yeah.
So if you are propagating
and you usually hear about the word propaganda when we're talking in a wartime.
It's the connotation they give it.
Propagation is different from propaganda. The words are not synonymous.
No.
Well, you first of all started from information.
Yes.
You said, but hey, let me call it what it is: propaganda. That's where you went. Whereupon people seized on that. Say, well, fine, I'm happy that man admitted that it's a
the dictionary is there now.
Okay, I'm saying, but you did say it, and so he's
propagation, propaganda.
But the larger point he was making, it also relates back to Emeka when he said. He's not too happy with this whole idea about the blindfolded lady. In other words, the symbol of justice, actually opening one eye to see where the whole thing is going, and that if we want to pursue justice, go ahead and pursue justice. But to do the Nigerian thing, which might be a suggestion, not that I'm saying that is the Nigerian thing, and you yourself said that you have a cartoon, an illustration of something propping up the symbol of justice.
Yes.
You know, those things. Surely you're not saying that it doesn't give the common man, the ordinary person, the best of assurances that he can expect justice in the systems that we run.
That is the more reason why some of the names of those who willingly or otherwise. Because nobody will come out to you openly and say, please, when Dasuki was sharing this money, he gave me this. Investigation must have led people to them.
There you are.
Okay, you've found me out. Yes, I collected money from him. But when he was giving it to me, I didn't know that it was meant for this.
That's it.
But
that's what the minister was saying yesterday.
But ignorance.
Even if you bring that, we will take the money. And he did say that they will not be exempt from prosecution.
Now people are now saying, how many people have you been able to prosecute successfully?
Okay. Yakub, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Chief Yori.
Good morning, just Yori, as you know.
Good morning to Malam Jaji and the barrister in the studio.
Good morning.
Yeah, you see, Chief Yori, I really thank God Almighty Allah that there is a changing of government in this country. Because I always ask myself that if, peradventure, this PDP did not live in the state for us, nobody will know what atrocity this woman in question have committed. Because it could have been covered up. The way your first girl said this morning, you need to ask a question. Because there was a president, so to say, it's true. that's the Minister of Petroleum for good 8 years. It doesn't mean that a lot of money is go astray that Nigerian citizen does not know. Chief Jerry, enough money is in petroleum system. And then Nigerian citizens, instead of the benefit from those money, we are here to suffer for today. Petroleum price is 40 something naira per liter. And then these people are taking away this money. Now, I want to allude to what Malam Jaji said earlier. Now, the government are telling us that they are collecting this money secretly, some people voluntarily returning this money. Then I think the Nigerian government needs to uphold the law of the country. Because I heard that Serap go to court and then court induction that those people's name must be mentioned. Why is it that Nigerian government refuse to mention their name for Nigerian citizens to know who are those people that collect money from? How much are they getting from those people? Why? Because this is a court judgment, and then the government of the day, they refuse to obey the law. Why is it so?
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yes, it is well, but I think
usually Nigerians start like that when there's a conundrum. Then there's a conundrum. Say it is well, and it shall be well. But here we are. We have that kind of a situation on our hands now.
I think this is an internal quarrel by the government and its supporters. Yes, they are quarreling with the government for not releasing names. But let me tell you, the government is in a better point. I don't speak for the government. I don't know why the government has taken that decision. But as somebody from afar who tries to reason out why things are happening, the government decides the best time to release the names. Because if the government decides, should we release this name, should we not release this name now? You know, there is a way government even releases names through media leakage. They'll just pretend. Then a particular medium will report it. And the government will pretend as if they didn't even know where the information goes.
And I'm imagining that, this is...
When they think it is suspicious.
Yes.
So, but what bothers government, at least for now, is to let's get the money, and battle later.
Yes, probably.
Your own is you need the information so as there will be more speed in the social media.
Because
so you start sending messages up and wait. You judge the government.
We will start campaigning.
You judge the government when it is campaign time, isn't it? Be patient. 2019 is still
somebody just said,
the president
is a bad market.
The same person may change his mind.
Alhaji Mohammed was talking about hate speech yesterday. That's a different people.
That same person may change his mind
if he's giving
before 2019.
Yes. But let it be said, remember back in the day, I think on the campaign trail or maybe shortly afterwards, even the president had, in his fervor said that these people will be named because the annoyance about our collective wealth being purloined by, let us use the word, stolen by people. At the time it was that we shall be transparent about it. But apparently he was now advised. Yes, he was. It must be that he was now advised that wait a minute. There are rules, there are regulations, there are norms. So you probably can't go ahead and do what your favor might have said you would be doing. Let's not mess up our own cases. You remember that time? Who knows what's going on?
Let's get to the nitty-gritty. If you pass through Aba Port Harcourt Road, it will not make sense to you anything about the naming, but about why the money is not being used to the benefit of the people. It is academic to begin to discuss about naming. The masses are hungry, people are unemployed, people want to eat. When you employ people or you have an enabling environment for people to work, people have life, the multimodal transport is in place. So you discover that people will be less interested. If you go to the remote parts of the country, they want things to work. Naming can come later.
Okay, let's get our money back first. Yes. Mr. Rashid in Surulere, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for calling in. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I want to contribute to this very program. You guys are doing a very lovely work. I don't think releasing names of the
looters.
The money is the most important thing now. The most important was releasing their name can be detrimental to the investigation. If you release them now, the other people who are willing to even come out to bring their money out, to bring the money they have looted out, they will be scared to bring them out. That's why I think that releasing them now is not the most important thing now. The most important thing is to encourage the people who are even willing to bring the looted money out, to bring them out.
To do so.
That is what I think we need for now.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Rashid, for that idea, which I'm sure Malam Jaji will also understand, because I know it's not the same, but it might just be that it might be the equivalent of something of a plea deal, that, look, I didn't know, if that is what you claim. Wait a minute, you didn't know. Without prejudice to ignorance of the law being no excuse. You are saying that how much is the money? It is X billion. You want to bring it by all means. I'm saying, as Rashid has just said, it might be thought in some quarters that it's more important to get this loot back than to say we won't take it or we're not going to address this case until we have the names to attach to it. I don't know.
You see, Yori, as I'm sitting down before you now, I'm a politician. I'm not a statesman. Statesmen, they think of generations yet unborn. As a politician, I'm thinking of the next election. What do we go out to tell our people? That when we 2015, 2014, these are the things we said we were.
But how about the idea you just heard that
wait.
Sometimes releasing names can jeopardize the ongoing investigation?
It jeopardizes nothing. It only brings in votes. And let me explain myself. Excuse me.
I'm sorry, sir. You will explain yourself. But I have Daniel in Cross River, and I don't want to lose him. I'll come straight back to you. Good morning, Daniel.
Hello, Uncle Yeri. Good morning.
Thank you for calling, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good morning to your guests in the studio.
Thank you.
Honestly, I won't be surprised if, at the end of the day, Diezani is discharged and acquitted. Because, you see, we have a problem with our criminal justice system. I think the burden of proof should be left on the shoulders of the accused. Because you and I know that even if Diezani works for 200 years, she cannot accumulate the kind of wealth she has accumulated. But it's still left on the shoulders of the EFCC to prove that she actually stole money from the government coffers. Hello?
Yes, Daniel, we're here. Thank you. That's it. Is that it? Thank you, sir. Yeah. Now, this whole matter of procedure, due process is being emphasized, I imagine. Look, we might have our notions of who stole what, but it's not going to be enough for the international community.
He has made his point clear. He's giving it, he said, political. Let me speak.
You see, I'm talking here this morning as a politician.
About the here and now.
Here and now, and 2019.
That's the here and
now.
And people, not about generations unborn.
It will take care of itself. It's true. See,
statesmen will take care of that.
Yes. What is happening now is that you see people telling you, I mean, my friend, what have you people done? You've not done anything wrong. Well, then the money being recovered, so to say, is now kept in abeyance somewhere, not useful for Nigerians, because the National Assembly...
But isn't it the right thing to do?
No, please, excuse me. Okay. The National Assembly that is supposed to make enabling law for government to have access to this thing is the same party with the presidency. But we all know that they are now the official opposition to the same presidency. So the law will not be passed, and the money will be there, and the government will be rendered incapacitated. And at the end of the day, you will now say, you know.
So what's the suggestion? So what's the suggestion? One moment, sir. Let me bring in Samson's opinion. Samson and Wari, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Chief Professor Onkuyori.
Oh, just to Yori, thank you very much.
Good morning, Chief Yayi, sir.
Okay.
And my brother there. I very concur with Mr. Yayi's opinion. Sir Onkuyori, let us take it like this. Very simple. If we don't name them, tell us how much you have recovered from them. Do you know that all these people, they will still use the same means to join the political train? They're not supposed to join us again at all. That's the best way you can separate them. Let us see. It's very simple. Mr. Yayi now gave us 1 billion naira voluntarily, right? Mr. Yayi voluntarily rendered 1 billion. It's good. There's another platform to look at it. But if it was forcefully or legally, why is it there? So that is the best way we can separate all these people from there. Let me tell you, sir, as the member of SELAP here, we even had the meeting some weeks ago.
Okay.
You see, we want to even know the good deeds, the good ones. We have good people now. Sir, we have a principal that is very agile, very strong in the community that can do what we need. He don't have the money. So, sir, they are robbing Peter to pay Paul. It is very simple. Court have given us their judgment. Please let us proceed on the rules of law. We want to see their names. Tell us whether it is voluntarily or involuntary donation. Okay. Good morning, sir.
Indeed, and in such a case, the judge will probably take that into consideration. But I had to interrupt you. Can you remember the point you were on?
Yes. I'm trying to look at it from the point of view that the fact that the government has not named some people today we are speaking does not mean that the government will not name them.
That they will remain faceless forever.
Yes. So we are arguing as if there is a government policy for the 4 years not to name some people. If the government has not taken a step and it is a product of not jeopardizing investigation, won't you give the government a leeway, an avenue to, after all, the government has named some people. All those Air Force men, Yakubu, Diezani, Dasuki, those ones haven't them been named? Olisametu. Some people have been named. Some people have not been named. You don't know their RNG.
But monies are being collected.
Good.
That is not being used.
Wait. I disagree with him that the National Assembly deliberately did not want to allow the executive to use the money. Has the executive brought a bill for the National Assembly to approve for usage of the money? If the executive has not refused any to take action, so National Assembly should go and bring out an executive bill. So as we speak now, because some people have come to blackmail this National Assembly, including on matters they have not even contemplated.
Mr. Akinola in Ikeja, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Gary.
Please go ahead.
Yes, let me just appreciate your program and to greet your panelists.
Thank you very much.
But one fundamental issue they need to look into is that every government have their own objective they are pursuing. In respect of corruption, for example, you will see the president has always been hammering on getting my money back. So that objective is really driving the president. And that is why it will be counterproductive if name listing is coming up at this particular point. We need to encourage the government to keep on recovering as much as they can. Okay. When the time of politics come, as one of your guests rightly said, the political time has not come. Let us wait till 2018. If we see the opposition is coming up with saying, it is propaganda, you see government and the political association with this name. If they are trying to get points from the fact that we are not made, then you see the government coming up with names. Then a lot of people does not know what kind of government. And I am amazed. There was a time I was listening to a program, somebody said a federal government has budgeted so much, and at the end of the year, they are supposed to be plowing back. We find it difficult to understand the budget and actual. Now, I'm relating that with one of your guests that said how much is the budget in Nigeria, how much is the taking as a loot, tries to factor the two together. They forgot that NNPC, for example, the income of NNPC is even more than the national budget, which cannot be accommodated in the budget because they are a business outfit. Their cost, their assets, everything is included in their cash flow. Yeah. That is why it is very, very difficult for you to look at loot with the budget of the country. Thank you. That is my submission.
Thank you very much for calling in. Thank you very much. by any means necessary. There are times when governments speak like that. This is one of those kind of situations. Seems to be the argument in favor of, look, just bring, we have been raped. It is the most unpleasant thing. Yeah. And by any means necessary, we need to begin to get our dignity back. In this case, our money back. You say you understand that point, but there are still aspects of it that you think, what, pandering to the unfair? Do you still hold that point even after the sort of possible explanations of it?
The point is, as a politician, my own food are the votes.
Yeah, but everybody in government is a politician as well. It might be a statesman as well.
It is well. You know, my own food is the votes.
Yes.
And in a situation where I say, Yori, if you vote for me, I'll do this for you. Okay. And I get there, I'm now giving you excuses instead of delivering what I promise you. Okay. That will be what Professor Laukun of Leeds University, we call it dignity deficiency. You know, we don't want that. Let it be said now.
Well, okay.
Let it be said now.
He needs to even understand that some of the decisions being taken could be for political reasons. You never know.
See,
whether somebody
this morning, somebody in London tweeted that this Nigerian government can be so stupid. They went to Hungary to enter into a loan agreement for water project in Nigeria. How can they? And now the same, he now supplied a link. I now went to the link. I now read that a particular university in Hungary is in conjunction with the Nigerian Ministry of Water Resources, are trying to do some things. And he said it's Nigeria. So some of us who are unofficial noisemakers for the APC.
You use propaganda. You've used noisemakers.
Yes.
Somebody's going to come back.
We are always.
Somebody's going to come back.
We are always.
Somebody's going to come back on that. Babajide in Agege. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Yori, and
is it Babatunde? Babatunde, I'm sorry.
Yes. Good morning, Mr. Yori. Good morning to your panelists.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I believe after this explanation to Alaji Jaji. Okay, whatever. Sorry.
Not whatever. My name is not whatever.
You see, part of the problem we have in Nigeria is lack of due process. It's not all about politics. It's a lot about quality delivery. So for him to continue to insist that if a politician government has not named anybody, I don't think that is the issue. Secondly, Mr. In Nigeria, our memory is so short. Now, the president of the Senate was talking to CCT, and he was free on all the count charges. And one of the charges was that he collected money after he had left the government governor of Kakwara as a governor was still collecting money. But recently, we are told that he has refunded the same money. Meanwhile, he was set free on all the charges at the CCT. I think maybe Mr. Eze, my friend, should be able to reconcile what happened recently about the money being refunded by the President Senate and is being free on all the charges
acquitted of receiving such monies. Well, since the man mentioned you by name, Chukwemeka, how do you resolve that particular conundrum? I have heard it said.
No, that one is simple. The man voluntarily gave the money accruable to him by a law made in Kwara State.
Yes.
To another body.
But he had been accused, he had been discharged and acquitted of the charge of receiving any such money.
That accusation was not based on the law made in Kwara State. Okay. So basically, let's put that aside. Let's come back to Jaji.
Well, to come back to Jaji.
No, I mean, there's something I have been wanting to.
I know, and you're going to. But let me quickly bring in Mr. George, and then we'll take a break. Well, we'll not so much take a break as allow some breather. Good morning, Mr. George.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you.
Uncle Yori, good morning to Milan Jaji and Kwemeka.
Good morning.
Some of the things Milan Jaji says on air, something tells me that as a member of the ruling political party, these are things that he should be taking to his party discussions so that if he has any suggestions to make, they should iron them out there. You can't say that what Nigerians need is politicians. We need statesmen, people who are serious about serving the country, not just waiting to be elected so that they can loot our money. That's what politicians do. We want people that can be like General Buhari, that is not there to steal, but there to make a name. So the protests that people are, that Charlie Boy is doing in Abuja, Okoyori, that is the aspect of this topic that I want to talk about.
Okay.
They seem to be towing the right path now. Instead of standing on the street to be asking somebody who is sick to come back or resign, as if he has no right to be sick, it is now that they are saying, so person that has stolen our money, we want him or her tried. But if I may recommend to them, they should direct the focus to the judiciary. We want justice. Those who have been found with our money should be tried and be given justice. How do you give somebody 16 count charges? Obviously, even a primary 6 child, we know that this person committed these offenses. And it gets to the court says you did not discuss it with him before you charged him. Therefore, he is not guilty and he's set him free. And billions of dollars are involved. This is where the protest should go, not whether somebody is sick or is not sick. Everybody has the right to be sick. Even the one that was protesting that the other man should not be sick. He fell down, he could not stand the gas.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. George. He was going to go there, but Malam Jaji thinks that...
Jaji has spoken twice. Let me take my turn.
When it comes to your turn.
Yes. Please, many people should understand the way the judiciary work. I am not a member of the judiciary, although I'm a lawyer, but they need to be well informed. Let me give you an instance. You charge somebody for 15 counts, and documents are involved. And you bring documents relating to other things, not related to the 15 counts. So the judge should go and imprison the person because you have charged the person for 15 counts. A lot of propaganda has been going on against the judiciary, and many of them are totally based on poor information management. Because no judge in a government that is fighting corruption will be bold enough to give judgment in favor of a corrupt person without governmental support. I must tell you, he'll be risking his job.
Those are pictures of Diezani's alleged properties, that
yes, but I want you to get something.
Forfeited.
I want you to get something. It is rare for a judge to take a decision in favor of a corrupt person in an anti-corruption government environment when there are evidence against the corrupt person, except there is governmental support, or except the judge himself is personally corrupt.
Or unless they mess up the case entirely.
Yes, that's what I'm telling you. A judge will not do the case of the prosecution. And most times, when the prosecutor errs, we now blame the judiciary. The prosecutor is not a member of the judiciary. Okay. So all the mistakes of the prosecutor are now being blamed on the judiciary. Okay, we should get this thing properly.
Madam Jaji, you've been itching to...
I'm the last caller got something wrong. I should be personally offended, but I won't be offended because I'm a malam, I'm a teacher. See, Talcott Parson, one of the foremost sociologists in the United States of America, says the political structure is the superstructure of any society. If you don't get your politics right, nothing in your society will be okay. American society today is okay because the superstructure, that is the political process, is okay. China, the same thing, even if they are not democratic or capitalist.
These are not necessarily perfect societies.
No,
I'm hearing what you're saying.
So if you say because politicians will, do something or
they misbehave from time to time,
they lose your money, then you won't be part of the political process. That is what an average Yoruba man will tell you. Everybody should be involved in the political process. It is when you are involved that charlatans thieves and whatever will be chased out of the system.
Okay.
So what we are now saying,
yes.
I intentionally, I told
when you say
Emeka,
we, you're talking about what?
We have people,
activists?
We have people outside. Now he's now saying which APC, Atiku Abubakar is still a member of the APC.
Okay, one
is
moment,
he saying
sir.
the same thing as the government? Papa and so is there. There are so many of them. I also belong to
in Joburg. Good morning, sir.
Good, Joburg.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling in.
Yes, good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. How's South Africa?
Very, very well, sir. Thank you, and good morning to Milan Moors and Eze.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. I just have a little contribution to contribute. My contribution this morning is regarding the topic we are talking about. Number one, first and foremost, why is it difficult for us? This question is to Mr. Eze. Why is it difficult for Nigeria government and Nigeria big men to obey court order? That's my number one question. Number two, why is it also difficult for Nigerian government or the people in parliament in Nigeria to quickly address issues that have to do with the Nigerians as populace? I'll give you a typical example.
Abe, we've run out of time.
Yes,
so that they can at least say one or two things about your question. Forgive me for interrupting you. Thank you, sir. You won't have time to exhaustively look at this question, but what are the points?
Yes, we have a KBS mentality in this country. Louis XIV called it l'état c'est moi. I am the state. No matter the propagation we do, we have hierarchical structure of personalities, and people are not treated the same. If you
I'm going to have to leave it there. I know it's unsatisfactory, but I'm going to have to leave it there. I'm very, very sorry, but I want to thank you, Chukwuemeka Eze. I want to thank you, Milan Moors, Jaji. I know there's a lot more to be said, but thank you very much.
I'll talk to Ayo Zumbako.
There you go. That's our program. Join us tomorrow, please, for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.